You've seen it. This is nothing new. You've seen it before. 400,000 Q&A subscriber thank you special thing, whatever you want to, yeah, whatever you want to say. I asked you guys on Twitter that I'd be doing one of the, I told you guys on Twitter that I'd be doing one of these and to put your questions in the comment section. I'm sure you didn't expect this 4 days after I told you that I'd be posting the video. And since then, about 400 to 500 of y'all have left your questions in that Twitter feed. So in this video, I'll be answering the questions, and I guess this is in some way a privilege to the people who subscribed over the years. I don't see how this is a privilege to you. Like, why do you don't want to know? Like, just like die. I'm gonna try to answer as many questions as possible. Probably not, because once the depression kicks in, I don't even think I'll be able to continue. Like, I'm gonna just end. How are you doing today? We can cut the shit. Like, y'all know I really don't care. First question is from, how does she always get the first question? I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but I'm on to you. Crank that TV CDT. You're trash. You trash for changing. This is trash at. Why are you doing this? Delete your account and your YouTube channel. Gotta ask what your favorite and least favorite meme of 2018 is so far. I don't really pay attention. Well, the one underneath that is honestly pretty good. I think I'll go with that one as my favorite. My least favorite meme of 2018 is CDTV Productions. Chicken wings or pizza? Neither. You know, I'm health freak over here. You know I don't eat pizza.
It's not even done yet, and I already want to fuck it up.
I don't eat pizza. I guess I should start calling out the ads too, because that's kind of rude. What do you want me to do with this? Like, why is that your ad? How can I pronounce that? How much water do I drink a day? Honestly, I drink probably near a gallon of water a day. You know, just drink more water. I try to tell people, you know, oh, what's your skin routine? How do you stay fit? Drink more water. I tell you this I've been slacking. I should remind you. Manny asks 3 questions. Do you ever think you'll have merch? Why are you such a hoe? And how does it feel to gain so many subscribers in comparison to the beginning of the year? And how has that impacted you as a YouTuber and a person? Well, to answer to question number 1, yes, I'll likely have merch sometime in the future. I'm a very creative individual. I love high quality t-shirts, so I'll probably have something coming in a couple years or so, and that's an honest answer too, because it's so much fun. And number 3, it hasn't changed me really at all, and I think that's probably one of the issues that people have with me on this platform, is that I don't really care about my subscriber count or, you know, any of theirs. You know, even having conversations with other people that have bigger platforms than I do, and I'm not speaking specifically to any other music reviewers or anything like that, but other YouTubers that I've spoken to in other fields tend to think this is a reason that they should be praised more. Even people in other content fields and in media, Complex, Revolt, all those people and shit like that. A lot of them tend to think that this is something that you should use as a way to catapult your way into some kind of moral high ground or some kind of status, I guess. And I never really felt that way about myself. I feel the same way now than when I had 100 subscribers. So I guess you can say it really hasn't changed me at all. Maybe taught me to be a little bit more considerate with the way I say things, but other than that, I'm still me. ASAP Spooky asks, how do you see rap in the next few years? A dichotomy of trap and fun and conscious like we have currently, or strictly back to its roots because of the current social injustice events? I don't think in the next few years rap will have changed so much so to the point where its core focus, which is a kind of a commentary of social events, will have changed that much over the next few years. I do think that this elitist behavior behind hip-hop does need to kind of go away, because I think it adds to the separation between what people are supposed to be meant to enjoy. Only thing I could say I would like for people to kind of separate from hip-hop is the culture vulture material, which is mainly just for artists that come in, benefit from the culture, they get out, they leave. Look at Miley Cyrus, look at Justin Bieber. You know, they're not really in the genre as much as they used to. They got in, capitalized, got out. But if you're going where I think you're going with this question, I think the biggest thing that could be to hip-hop's detriment in the future is just the elitist mentality that oh, you know, music has to be, or hip hop has to be this way for me to enjoy it. I do kind of have a lack of respect for people who cover hip hop and they take certain hip hop seriously while they take other hip hop not so seriously. I mean, I look at all artists as, you know, artists. They should be respected, whether I can understand their lyrics or not. I think the idea that we should separate the hip hop field into so many different subgenres is going to end up hurting it, because when hip hop does become a little bit more, even more popularized and more people want to listen to it, they're likely to only want to listen to certain versions of it, which you might find in emo rap, or you might find in metal rap to an extent. Emo, you might be able to get somewhere from, you know, new Juice WRLD songs, or, you know, more metal inspired songs you might get from like a Denzel Curry. I guess the elitist mentality is just to think that these other subgenres have spawned from nowhere, even though they've still very much so originated from hip hop. I guess the point I'm trying to make here is hip hop shouldn't stay within its roots. That's what made hip hop popular now, is the fact that it branched off. Jack asks, what is the best piece of advice that anyone's ever given you? I remember your face. I believe we met at Somerset. You were cool. Appreciate you. The best advice I've ever been given is not to look to the world for happiness. While not conservative, I live in a very liberal society that tend to get offended by words that don't technically make the people who these words are aimed at feel comfortable or feel happy. And as a way to kind of lash out against whatever criticism they receive or whatever kind of words they don't like being thrown their way, their first reaction is to respond emotionally. And I never really wanted to be that person. So looking to the world to give me comfort or give me happiness or give me solace has always been outside of my mind. And I'm always happy that it has been, because it's kept me a little bit more grounded in logic, not necessarily grounded in my emotions. Helped me make a little bit more sound decisions in some areas. I mean, there's obviously work to be done all across the board for me, but you know, I think that idea has helped me stay focused on trying to attain self-happiness and self-achievement and self-success. I'm not really focused on trying to attain happiness through the world's lens. Andrew Sanner asks, are you aware of artists like Skizzy Mars and Black Bear? If so, do you like their music? I'm aware of both of these artists. Skizzy Mars is a pretty decent artist. I do like his music. Hasn't always hit me in a very impactful way. I like it. It just hasn't really moved me, I guess. And in order to talk about his music, I feel like I'm going to need something to just like pop, and I haven't gotten it yet. With Black Bear, he came out with an EP or some kind of mini tape last year that I was very indifferent towards. In fact, I think it was kind of trash. It was kind of like this pop, rap, emo, I don't know what the fuck. It had pills on the cover. I remember listening to it. It wasn't my cup of tea. Bakes asks, how do you pull so much information in a song in one listen? That shit's hard as hell. Advice for small music reviewer channels. Honestly, the thought behind that is, from what I've seen, less preferred from a broad standpoint, because a lot of people don't like you giving your opinion off of a first listen. But honestly, I've seen so many people make reviews and make these thought videos after like 5, 6, 10 listens. And in my opinion, that still not be sufficient. I still feel like they were missing some of what some of the artists meant. And while I definitely can't be in a better position for giving it one listen, I feel less of a need to take it as seriously as they do when there's information that you can get from one listen, there's information that you can get from 10 listens. I don't think that it needs to be so strictly focused on this formula that you have to listen to music in this way in order to talk about it or discuss it or share your thoughts about it. When it comes to receiving the information from the music, that's literally limited to, okay, I'm listening to something, I'm watching something, I know what I like about it and what I dislike about it, and that's pretty much it. Like, it's nothing more to it than that, than explaining why I like this and why I don't. When it comes to pulling the information out, I try to listen to the lyrics. That's why a lot of people view me as the less energetic person when it comes to doing those types of videos. But while I'm not doing all that extra shit, I'm listening to the song and hearing what it is that they have to say for the most part. And that's pretty much where that comes from. If you stop the extras and the antics, you can actually use your ears to hear what the artists are saying so you can pull more information out of the song. And the advice for small music reviewer channels, this shit's just opinion. That's all. This shit's just opinion, and I guess you can say it's based in the most popular people, I guess, those people become that way because of the way they give their opinion, but really understand that just be 100%, tell people how you feel, try to be a little informed about it, and follow what you enjoy, I guess. Like, follow your own opinion, follow your own intuition, your own instinct. Even if people think you're wrong about it, just have your own thought process, have your own tastes, be honest with yourself, and don't be afraid to piss people off, because it's gonna happen. Darth asks, can I see the full tattoo? I'm getting another tattoo probably in another 3 weeks or so, and it's gonna be around this area right here, so you'll see this one as you're seeing this one. If you follow my Twitter, I'll probably post a picture of it or something like that. Will you ever do a vinyl collection video? I'll show you all the vinyls on my wall at the end of this video. I have more vinyls in my basement, but I don't feel like going down there. What's your favorite anime, my dude? Favorite anime at the moment will probably have to be My Hero Academia. Just because of the character progression, my interest in all the characters, how they're moving forward with the story, it's still being engaging after damn near 4 seasons. Like, I haven't had an issue with any of the episodes, and I feel like all of it makes sense. Some nice writing, so I'm cool with it. You know, I think it's a really good show. What would be your ideal combination of artists to make a joint album? Probably Lil Wayne and Kanye, because honestly, I would like to see those two make a joint album simply because of how much they've influenced music over the last decade. I would love to see what those two could come up with. What do you say to someone who has severe depression but dreams of going somewhere in life? I'm only asking because I have so much motivation to do something, but at the same time, I barely have any motivation. As someone who deals with like anxiety, and while that's definitely separate and different from depression, I think the anxiety, there's fear in it, can prevent you from doing things even if you want to. My thing is to take the step, and when you do things, don't think about it for too long. Don't psych yourself out. And while this isn't expert advice or anything, this is just my recommendation. Thinking about something for too long can definitely be a detriment. If you want to do something, do it. You know, don't spend too long thinking about it. Start, work on it, finish it, complete it, see how you feel after you finish something. And then I think, you know, just to get the ball rolling, just to get yourself on pace, on track, start some consistency, I think that'll motivate you more than the idea of success or the idea of wanting to accomplish something. Just start. Just start. I know it seems hard. I know it seems like it's impossible. I know you feel tired. I know you feel this lack of energy, this lack of motivation. You feel this fear and lack of drive. But if you start, it's that much closer to finishing. And apply that to everything that you have going on in life, whether it's college, whether it's work, whether it's your relationships. Just give as much as you can. Give as much as you can to anything that you do. Don't half-ass anything. Don't be afraid. Don't let any of these other thoughts fester in your mind for too long. And if they do, tell yourself you're wrong. I know it can be difficult to kind of separate yourself from yourself and say, self, you're bad for me right now. If you were to pick only one artist to listen to for the rest of your life, who would it be? I don't think I could take it. I wouldn't listen to music if I could only listen to one artist. Like, that would kill me. What pushes you to sacrifice so much to do music reviews? You stay up late and put so much time and effort into reviewing an album you might not even like, then receive backlash for not liking it. I'm eager to know what keeps the drive within you so you can so I can apply it to me. You know I can't read. You know I can't read. Honestly, the completion of things. I like knowing that I finished something, and I start things with the intention of finishing them. I start things knowing that whatever happens, I'm going to finish this. A lot of people don't know, when I film something, I have this eager attitude to hurry up and finish filming so I can start editing, so I can start rendering, so I can start uploading. And while that process is very difficult and long at some times, just the completion is like a check mark. And that check always feels good, I guess. Like, just checking something off your list, getting something else done. I don't know why. I just have that thing, and honestly, I've never been able to give under 100% in anything that I do. I think the growth in the channel is a product of the consistency that I've shown since the very beginning of my channel, and I've tried to do nothing but increase quality or increase the way I, put out the content. But at the same time, I like getting things complete. I don't like leaving things lingering If I finish a video, for instance, I feel like if I don't edit it, then I'm doing something wrong. It'd be like me going to my job and checking off a bunch of shipping labels to make sure they went out to their proper destination, and then not calling the facilities to make sure they could properly track wherever the shit's coming from. Like, if everything isn't done, I feel incomplete and I have to finish it. Which other music reviewers on YouTube are you not fond of? Are there any ones that you look up to? And who do you watch on YouTube that is not a music reviewer as well? You guys pretty much know the people that I fuck with as far as music related content goes on YouTube. I've shown my support for them on Twitter. I've shown my support for them on YouTube. As for people that aren't necessarily people that I'm fond of, it'd be more publications and media outlets than individuals on YouTube themselves. I think I have a bigger problem with establishments like Complex and like Revolt. Just outlets that don't really speak in depth about music itself, more so the culture surrounding it and, you know, the celebrity within music, less than they do the artistic motivation behind why some of these albums are put out. I feel like the focus, primarily a large portion, is due to the traction that can be gained from the artists themselves rather than the music that they should be having the discussion about. So I guess more than anything, I'd have an issue with media outlets more so than I do individual YouTubers, because they're going to do what they do regardless. You know, if you last on YouTube, you last. If you don't, you don't. I'm not mad at anybody personally. And I watch a bunch of people that don't have anything to do with music. One of my favorite channels, X Chase Money, For Y'all Entertainment, have literally the best vlogs on YouTube, hands down the most entertaining. I enjoy the Joe Rogan podcast from time to time, the ATZ show. What do you think the odds are of you still making content on YouTube in 5 years? I can't say, but I can say the odds of me making content and having a medium to or a platform to push it on or put it on is probably going to be in existence for a while. I don't think I really want to stop talking music at any point in the near future, because it's something that I really enjoy, and I didn't really have a platform to discuss my music tastes earlier on in my lifetime. So I feel like doing so now has kind of like become a routine, or it's almost like a diary entry in a way. How long does it take to film a whole album reaction? For example, your recent The Carter 5 video. That video took me 3 hours to film. Honestly, they don't take as long as I'm sure a lot of people probably do them in an hour and a half, because, and you know, this isn't no hate, but I spend so much time talking about it, I guess, that, you know, and I make a lot of cuts. There's a lot of information and a lot of shit that I talk about in the video that don't actually make it in the video. And that's what ends up taking me so long. Plus, I go on this long 10 to 15 minute explanation of what I felt the album was to me at the end of the video. So it generally takes a while. What happened with your surgery that you alluded to in your Yay reaction? I still been meaning to tell y'all about that. I don't know, it just never feels like the right time. Like, I want to make a video about it just to talk about it, I guess, but I don't know in what way I can make a video that doesn't, like, I have these weird things. I don't like making videos that are only about me. So I guess that's why I haven't made one yet, but I will make one. You gotta give me some time, and I'll try to see how I can make it work. Maya asks, do you plan on leaving Michigan at some point or staying? I've contemplated going to Texas, going to Florida, going to New York, especially Canada. There's a lot of places I think I could go. There are some unexplored areas still in Michigan that I would like to live in before I think I would leave, though. So I don't know. It's possible. Who are your parents' favorite artists to listen to? My mom, I would say, listened to a lot of Celine Dion. She listened to a lot of Marvin Sapp. She listened to a lot of Janet Jackson, a lot of the Fugees, listened to a ton of Angie Stone. She listened to a ton of the OJs, listened to a ton of the Temptations, the Five Heartbeats, listened to a ton of LL Cool J, Run DMC, Marvin Gaye, Juanita Everett, Whitney Houston, just a bunch. On my dad's side, he was more on the hip hop side. So I got like Wu-Tang, DMX, Tupac, Biggie, Nas, Jay-Z, the Beatles. Do you ever plan on working in the music industry since you show so much passion? After all, look at Lil Duval, it's never too late. I won't say anything's outside the realm of possibility. Anything is possible. If you could resurrect either Pac or Biggie, who would you choose and why? I would choose neither of these artists, and I'll tell you why. We no longer are in a space where it will be profitable or advantageous to keep Tupac and Biggie in the music. I just don't believe so. It's evolved and progressed so much so to the point where resurrecting them, they'd be brought to it'd be like bringing them through a time machine. What would they do in today's era that would be profitable musically that they were doing in 94, 93, 92? Like there just isn't anything that they'd be able to offer right now. You look at Biggie and you look at Pac, although in my opinion, two of the best hip hop artists of all time, looking at other artists that have stemmed from their legacy, there have been people that have been able to do and provide so much more in terms of ideology, in terms of conceptuality, in terms of rapping technicality, in terms of lyrics themselves. Like, there's so many more artists that have stemmed from them coming into the game that I just feel like having them back in the game would just be an unnecessary thing. Why are there so many albums you miss in terms of reviewing? Like Juice WRLD's debut, Rich Kid's album, Young NBA album, YFN Lucci's album, Jacquees, etc. I've listened to literally all of these albums. And my problem with this YouTube channel is people assuming that because you don't make a video covering these artists that you're somehow not with the wave, you don't understand where it's going, or you haven't listened to them. Like, I listen to a ton of music on my own time that I don't post a video about or cover on my YouTube channel. And I guess I could get better at that, because Juice WRLD probably is an artist that I probably at least should have given an opinion on when it came to his debut. But to say that I don't listen to his music because I didn't make a video on it, that's a little presumptuous. And when it comes to music that I'm a little bit more indifferent to, I'm a little bit hesitant to shed light on it because I don't want to put out a mediocre, score on an artist who's delivering music to me that I feel has potential to go somewhere further. So rather than give him a 5 or a 6, which is what I thought of his Goodbye and Good Riddance debut, I'd rather wait until he improves. Maybe I could see a project that he gets better with, but I'll still keep and maintain my opinion of his first album. But if I think he has potential, then maybe not, maybe waiting until he delivers something a little bit better wouldn't be a bad idea. So when it comes to certain artists and I feel like they have the ability to go somewhere further, I prefer to wait to see what they do next. And if he comes out with another album that I'm a little bit more indifferent toward, then I probably will make a video about it. Is your real name Shawn C? Finally, we're getting to the real questions. No, that is not my real name. Do you break hearts more or get your heart broken? Next question. Huge fan, Shawn. My question is, if you could listen to an album you've reviewed again for the first time, which would you choose? Honestly, I'd probably choose Freddie Gibbs with Pinata. That album was so... it was so deeply... Oh my God. This dude made sure to get his shit off. Have you made any changes on any thoughts you put into an album, like you thought it was good, but now you think it's bad, and vice versa? Rank Kanye West's discography best to worst? I have. How do you review, like what characteristics make an album a 10 out of 10? And the final question, who in your opinion are in the best artists of this generation category? It's hard to say generationally who will be the best, because I feel very, very much so still in the early generation of rap. I don't know what they mean when they say generation. Maybe there's only been 2 generations, because if rap is like a 40-year-old genre and most artists get into it right around when they're 17, 18, up into where they're 20 to 30 almost. If we still have a guy like Jay-Z who's only 50 years old, who's very much so, in my opinion, from an early generation of rap and hip-hop, then I would say there aren't that many different generations. But I guess when it comes down to this generation, I feel like we have to wait until it's over before I say that. When it comes to albums that I've kind of changed my thoughts on, there haven't been many albums that I've changed my opinion on. When it comes to just the score, maybe the numerical value that I would place on an album. A lot of my scores from 2016 have changed, but my overall thoughts on those albums, I won't say it's changed too drastically that I would have to come back and make like a revision video about them. And what album is a 10 out of 10 for me? Like, what makes an album a 10 out of 10? Just the creativity, if they're pushing the genre that they're in forward, if they're doing something outside of it but still very much so in it at the same time, if that makes sense. The conceptuality behind the project, how hard I have to think about it, or how much it challenges my ears but in a pleasing way as opposed to an abrasive one, how well each song fits the theme of the project, if the project has a theme, and depending on what artist it comes from. A lot of that plays a factor, plays a role. What's another genre you like besides hip hop? Folk music, country music to a degree, rock music, metal music to a degree. I don't know if you could actually put this or specify it or put it into a genre, but anime soundtracks, I love those. Why do you make videos? Ouch, Sharon. You said that like you want me to stop. Just as a log, as a journal for my music experiences and how I feel about certain albums that come out. I just want to have a log of it just on one place, on one medium. That's why. What's your advice for up and coming YouTubers trying to make a living off YouTube? If you're up and coming, you shouldn't be trying to make a living off YouTube. And I only say that because there were so many other ways, I guess, that you can make money outside of YouTube, and you should probably before putting all your eggs into a basket like that, maybe, look into ways that you could start a healthy revenue stream outside of the platform before, trying to make a living off of just that platform, if that makes sense. Make sure you have a backup plan, a trade, a skill, because, there's no guarantee with any of this shit. So anyone who publishes their opinion on music, especially on YouTube and especially with rap, is going to get a bunch of unneeded hate. Does it ever get to you? Not really. And it only stopped when I, ridded myself of any kind of egotistical feelings toward it. When it comes to me, I just want to have a discussion about the music. So I'm never necessarily looking at the person. I'm always looking at the words and the context in which they say what they say about whatever they say. I don't ever feel the need to critique a person for having a certain perspective on the music that they're listening to. I mean, if that's your thought, that's your thought. I might disagree with it, but I'm not going to tell you you're wrong for your taste, or I'm not going to tell you you're somehow lesser than for the artist that you prefer. But I feel a lot of the viewers, I don't know if they're just too emotional to understand that, more often than not, you're not coming across people in everyday life telling them that they're trash human beings for having a certain opinion in music. But honestly, I put my review out or put my thoughts out on particular albums and I let it go. I'm not, sitting up here wondering, oh my God, why don't they like my opinion? I can't take, the backlash, because people are sensitive. That's another example of looking for, in my opinion, happiness from outside sources. You want somebody to confirm your opinion. There are a lot of people that just like to watch people explain why they feel the way they feel about music in general, even if there are people that disagree with them. I'm one of those people, but not everyone is, and you're gonna see the backlash in the comment section. So either deal with it, I'm not gonna complain about it. It is what it is. People are fickle. I've heard people say, oh man, you're trash, and then I come around and I hit them with a good review of an album that they like. Oh man, this is why you're the GOAT. This is why I subscribe. Like, people are fickle, so fuck them. How many daughters do you have? Is this another way of you trying to ask me how many girls call me daddy? Do you think people becoming oversensitive can ruin, to some extent, any kind of art by limiting the artist's freedom? 100%. I think artists should be completely free from the criticism of anything put in art format should be looked at. It should be viewed. It should be observed. It should not be taken personally. It should not be looked at from the lens or the perspective of, I have to look at this from a personal point of view. Only in the event that the artist makes it known that these are their personal opinions should you be upset with their artistic references. But unless they're doing that, and if they're painting some kind of picture or they're describing something in their art, It should be exempt from any kind of moral policing. We gotta know after all this time, you got a girl? Man, y'all wild. Is it wrong to review a song or album off the vibe it gives / way it sounds and not take the lack of lyrical content as high of a standard as I would say for Kendrick Lamar, just off of what I expect from the artist? Yeah, just go completely based off of what the artist gives you and why you go to that particular artist. As I've said before, I'm not going to Playboi Carti for Tupac bars, but at the same time, if Playboi Carti is not engaging enough or entertaining enough as a rapper to keep me involved or interested in his music for the duration of Die Lit, then I'm still not going to give it a great score just because it sounds a little psychedelic. How did you start getting into making YouTube videos and improving qualities over time? I've been watching since early 2017 and the progression and change your videos has adapted is crazy. Keep it up, G. Thank you very much. Honestly, I had this obsession with photography. I still do. And in having a camera that was able to also record video, a DSLR, I was in a rare position to have something that was decent quality so I could film myself giving my opinions and first thoughts on a bunch of music that I was listening to at the time. Over the time period and as time progressed, I noticed that the microphone quality wasn't where it needed to be, so I improved the microphone. I've spent probably $2,000 plus in microphone equipment. When it comes to the lighting, you know, when it comes to the video recording, when it comes to the camera bodies itself, all of that needed to be upgraded to make for a more pleasurable viewing experience, not only for the subscriber, but for myself. If I want to play these videos back and hear what I'm saying, who wants to watch me through a fucking potato? And also describing the way I feel about things in a way that isn't just limited to this is dope and this is not, kind of helped me have a bigger, broader basis for my music taste and how I describe what I like and why I like it, and how I describe what I don't like and why I don't like it. Are you getting tired of the current music genres? Like, do you wish someone would just create a whole new genre? Do you think college is overrated? Like, if I want to go to the college to learn about the music bus and Jimmy Levine was my dad, do you think it matters? To the second question, you just need experience. Like, college is great for education, but at the same time, no one's going to hire you unless you have experience. And how do you get experience? You get that like through internships. You don't need necessarily a college degree or a degree in any field necessarily to intern unless you're trying to become a lawyer or a doctor. There are programs, there are things that you can complete. Like I said, there's no real course for photography in college. You can just intern, you can pay for classes specifically. But I think the best teacher is experience. And if you are in a position where you're lucky enough to have Jimmy as your father, then yeah, you don't need to go to college to learn about the music bus. I don't necessarily get tired of the music as it stands. I feel like having this many, there's already so much variety. I don't really feel like we need a new genre. I feel like there's so much variety as it is right now. There's so many albums that come out per year that I can't even get to all the time. So just going back to get previous work and bring it to the forefront and bring it to the current day is difficult enough for me to want a whole new genre. I just think it's way too much. Anonymous asks, yo, I don't know if you got this question yet, but who is your favorite rapper, MC, and lyricist of all time? You know, the more and more I've listened to music, the more and more I feel like this is just more and more of an irrelevant question. Not necessarily an insult to the person who asked, but just to myself, because there's so many artists in hip hop and rap, and just I don't think I can wrap my head around so many different artists that I get so many different forms of entertainment from the newer generation to the older generation. There's so many needed artists that I can't just say there's one in particular that I view as so far ahead of the rest that I would need to label them as my favorite or the best, you know. And maybe I'm wrong for that, but that's just me. I get way too much enjoyment out of this rap shit for me to only listen to one person or only, you know, rank one person at the top. Yeah, I think y'all know enough about me before we peer too deep and start crying. But just know that I appreciate and love each and every single one of you that keeps coming back, keeps subscribing, keep showing love to the content. Just know I appreciate you, and it's been a journey, and I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna be as consistent as I can. I'm not going to blame anybody else for this shit. Any stress, I guess, that comes with the YouTube thing. I'm not doing any of that. I appreciate y'all. If you subscribe for one thing, you like what I do, I'm gonna keep doing that, and I'm not gonna complain about it. So it's been me. Thank you for watching. It's been Shawn C. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you in the next one, And until next time, I think it's safe to say that I'm out. Peace.